Nobody gets the German Shepherd right. Not the people who think it's a lethal weapon, not the people who think it's a babysitter with fur, not the guy who bought a DDR working line dog for his apartment because it sounded cool. This breed has been running on myth, movie logic, and bad forum advice for decades. So in this video, we're breaking down 9 of the biggest German Shepherd lies, and a few of them are going to land differently if you've actually owned one of these dogs. Number 1. A German Shepherd automatically knows who the bad guy is. Every new German Shepherd owner has the same fantasy running in the background. Dog spots the threat, dog handles it, owner looks cool. What nobody mentions is that the dog has no idea what a threat is supposed to look like. An untrained German Shepherd doesn't distinguish between a burglar and a FedEx driver who moves weird. It reads energy and body language and gets those reads wrong constantly without training. A dog that lunges at your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving isn't protecting you. It's reacting to something that felt off. And the consequences are entirely your problem. Real protection work takes years of structured training. The breed standard calls for a stable, self-assured, traceable dog, not a hair-trigger reactor deciding on its own what counts as a threat. Owning a GSD doesn't come with a built-in security system. It comes with a confident dog that will make its own decisions if you don't make them first. Number 2. All German Shepherds are born with broken, sloped backs. Millions of people have diagnosed the entire German Shepherd breed spine using one tool, a show dog's Instagram photo. A JPEG and a strong opinion, no bet required. That photo everyone's using as evidence? It's a stack. A specific trained pose that handlers spend months teaching their dogs to hold because it photographs well. The slope looks dramatic because it's supposed to. That's literally the point of the pose. It isn't an X-ray. The actual breed standard calls for a straight, strong back with withers higher than the top line, which is an angle, not a deformity. Whether that angle becomes a real structural problem depends on how extreme the breeder took it, and that varies wildly between show and working lines. Legitimate concerns about exaggerated angulation exist, and hip and elbow screening exists specifically to catch them. But condemning every German Shepherd's spine from one posed photo is like diagnosing scoliosis from a prom picture. The dog isn't broken. They just learned to stand funny for the camera. Number 3. German Shepherds are naturally aggressive. A German Shepherd meets your friend for the first time and just stares at them, unblinking, for an uncomfortable long time. Your friend laughs nervously. The dog has already completed its full psychological assessment and filed the report internally. That's not aggression. That's more like a job interview, and your friend barely passed. German Shepherds were built to be serious, steady-nerved, self-assured, watchful, the kind of dog that takes strangers on a case-by-case basis instead of assuming everyone's fine. Alertness and reserve were literally written into the standard on purpose. The problem is that take you seriously and wants to hurt you look identical to people who've never actually spent time around a well-bred, well-raised GSD. A dog that's genuinely dangerous, reactive, unpredictable, hair-trigger, got there through bad genetics, no socialization, unaddressed fear, or handling that accidentally rewarded the wrong behavior. That's a breeding or training failure wearing the breed's face. Aggressive is just the word people teach for when they don't have a better one for serious dog that takes its job personally. Number 4. DDR, check, working line, or police bloodlines automatically make the best pet. Somewhere in a suburb right now, a guy who one of the most intense military-sounding German Shepherd bloodline available is sitting on a couch while his elite DDR working line dog has destroyed the third couch cushion this week and is staring at him like the enrichment session ended too early. The dog is doing exactly what it was bred to do, and that's the problem. Working line traits are excellent for the right contexts, such as sport, patrol, service, or protection work. More drive, more prey instinct, more stamina. In the right hands, that's a remarkable animal. In a normal home with a normal schedule, that same package is an exhausting full-time commitment that no amount of cool branding prepares you for. The labels, DDR, Czech, Canine, imported, are marketing as much as genetics. A dog whose intensity doesn't match the owner's actual life isn't an upgrade. It's a decade-long mismatch that neither side enjoys. The best pet GSD isn't the most extreme one on paper. It's the one that fits the life waiting for it at home. Number 5. German Shepherds are automatically great with kids because they're family protectors. A toddler screams, sprints across the living room, falls over, screams again, and throws a toy sideways for absolutely no reason. For most adults, that's just Tuesday. For an unsocialized German Shepherd with herding instincts and zero experience around children, that's the most overwhelming sequence of events that has ever occurred in recorded history. Family protector is the part everyone focuses on. What that phrase doesn't cover is size, adolescent exuberance, noise sensitivity, herding instinct, or the basic fact that a dog and a toddler in the same space without supervision is just two unpredictable creatures hoping for the best. A well-socialized, properly trained GSD can be genuinely wonderful with kids, patient, gentle, switched on in the right ways. But that dog didn't arrive preloaded with child-safe settings. It got there because someone put real work in on both ends, teaching the dog what children are and teaching the children what the dog needs. Both of those things require actual effort. Assuming the protector instinct handles it automatically is how otherwise avoidable incidents happen. Number 6. Because they're police dogs, German Shepherds are easy first dogs. The logic makes perfect sense right up until the moment you're a first-time owner being dragged down the street by an 80-pound dog who's decided the neighbor's cat is a national emergency and your opinion on the matter is irrelevant. Trainable and easy are not the same word, and German Shepherds are proof of that gap. The same intelligence that makes this breed exceptional in a canine unit means it learns fast in every direction, including all the directions you didn't mean to teach it. Bad habits install quickly and take much longer to fix when the dog doing them weighs as much as a grown adult. Adolescence makes it worse. Underdeveloped impulse control, a developing guarding instinct, and more energy than the average household can absorb is a challenge even for experienced owners. Committed beginners can make this work with the right dog and realistic expectations, but the police use them is not a training plan, and 6 months in is a rough time to find that out. Number 7. You need to dominate a German Shepherd. The guy eating dinner alone at the table every night before feeding his dog isn't going through a rough patch. He's maintaining pack hierarchy, or so he thinks. The whole system comes from a 1940s study on stressed captive wolves, and the scientist who wrote it spent the rest of his career begging people to stop using it. Dog trainers moved on from this decades ago, but the German Shepherd forums are still working through it. The dominance framework gets dragged out constantly to explain mounting, countersurfing, barking, leash pulling, basically any behavior a teenage GSD does that makes life harder. None of those behaviors are a power grab. They're what happens when a high-drive dog has too much energy, too few skills, and an owner focused on establishing rank instead of teaching anything. What actually works is less interesting. Consistent rules, real training, the same response to the same behavior every single time. Meanwhile, the guy is still eating alone at the table, and his dog has no idea why. Number 8. A big backyard or farm is all a German Shepherd needs. The fantasy goes like this. Dog goes outside. Dog runs around. Dog comes back inside tired and easy. The reality is that an underengaged German Shepherd in a big yard doesn't self-regulate into a fulfilled companion. It just finds something to do, and what it finds is never good. Fence running, hole digging that gets geologically ambitious, a barking routine so consistent the neighbors start setting their watches by it. A yard is useful, but it's not a lifestyle. The same dog that paces and destroys things in a small apartment will pace and destroy things with more room, because the problem was never square footage. What these dogs actually need is physical exercise, training, novel environments, sniffing, structured play, and the kind of mental work that comes from a real relationship with a real person who shows up consistently. Acreage doesn't provide any of that. Owners with half an acre still ask the same questions about fulfillment as owners in apartments. The answer is never, buy more land. Number 9. Hip dysplasia is inevitable in every German Shepherd. It's just a Shepherd thing has done more damage to German Shepherd hips than bad genetics ever could. Because the moment someone believes dysplasia is inevitable, they stop doing the things that make it less likely. The breed does have a real predisposition. Elevated risk is genuine, worth taking seriously. But predisposition and destiny are different words for a reason. Responsible breeders have spent decades running OFA and elbow evaluations specifically because screening over generations actually changes outcomes. That's not optimism, that's documented breeding data. Weight management matters. Appropriate exercise during development matters. A vet who actually monitors joint health before problems becomes obvious matters just as much. None of that eliminates risk entirely, but it changes the odds significantly. That said, the attitude is the problem. Every generation of unscreened dogs makes the next generations of hips a little worse. And it's inevitable is what keeps that cycle running. Hey, if you enjoyed this, you'll probably love this video here. And if you hit subscribe, I'll donate a meal to a rescue dog on your behalf.